Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be covering Alien Thaw. This is the new series from Alien in 2023 from Marvel Comics. This covers issues 1 through 5. This is written by DECLAN SHALVEY with art by ANDREA BROCCARDO, RUTH, REDMOND colors, letters by COWLES, covers by DIKE, RUAN, and Matthew Wilson. In this story, DECLAN SHALVEY and ANDREA BROCCARDO take the Alien franchise to a bone-chilling new depths. Talbot Engineering Incorporated is under new management, and its brilliant chief scientist, Batya Zahn, will do just about anything to get her family off the icy moon, where they've been conducting research on water conservation, but there's more than glacial springs to find in the forgotten corner of the galaxy. When they discover an extraordinary organism buried in the ice, it doesn't take long for tensions to heat up. What is hidden in the snow comes forth in thaw, and no one will welcome the spring. But San is not willing to give up her work and the unexpected threat without a fight, no matter what horrors emerge from the ice in the Black Night. Uh, so this this series, and I won't go too deep into too many spoilers. I think there's enough for me to talk about with the series without going too deep into any like big reveals or anything like that. I think this series was a lot of fun. I read the first issue when it came out, and then I collected the issues until the day of this recording when the fifth issue came out. I'm a big fan of Declan Shalvey. Not too familiar with Brocardo's work, but I mean the art is fantastic in this series. I think I really enjoyed not only how it's a little bit more stylized than I would think from a for an Aliens book, or at least what we've been seeing in the previous series. But it doesn't take away anything from the story. If anything, I feel like it gives it a fresh new perspective, and it still is able to get down into the those gritty bits that you want from an Alien franchise story. Um, this story, Declan Shelby is able to capture all the trappings of a fun Alien story. Like, there's so many things that of course we're gonna get a chest burster somewhere. We're gonna get a little bit of like Weyland Yutani sending in their whatever officers or everybody just to kind of force people out of their whatever they're doing, and that's kind of what happens in the first issue, right? In the first issue, we really are not worried so much about the aliens, but about Weyland Yutani coming in to take over this station, right? Declan Shelby manages to develop some really likable characters in a very short amount of time. Very efficient writing, I think, when it comes to doing that. And we are immediately, if you've seen any franchise, if you've seen anything from the Alien franchise, you know that Weyland Yutani is up to no good. They're only here to try to make a profit, try to take whatever whatever research this family is going through. But it's a really interesting setting or a setup to have a family that is also not exactly what they seem. There's a lot of different levels of depth in the story, which I think it's really fun, right? And we get some stuff like Weyland Yutani comes in, and then we are treated as the reader to a reveal like all these xenomorphs trapped in the ice. You've probably seen it from the covers. You'll be seeing it across the video. Like, there are some fantastic visuals here, not only in the covers but just also within the book. I think the concept of all these xenomorphs trapped in ice, and then as things like as they start to thaw out, and they come back to life, and then they also become a threat to not only the family that we're following along, but everyone that Weyland Yutani brought, like all their officers and their soldiers and stuff like that. Like, it just makes for really fun storytelling. So this felt to me very classic Alien, where you have a crew, but then there's also a few extra twists and turns where we have this family that not only are they trying to survive, but they're trying to make sure that they don't lose any of their research. They're trying to make sure they stay together, that they're not captured by Weyland Yutani and their goons. Then we have Weyland Yutani officials and everything that they want to do to make sure to just come in and take everything while also trying to survive. And then you have the xenomorphs. But like I said, there are some really fun reveals. This story is full of unexpected twists and turns, and things that you may be thinking like, okay, well, that's an alien story. That's what is supposed to happen. But I think the fun part is that you never know where some of those things are going to come from. And I think Shalvey is really good at allowing you to believe that you think you know what's going on with the story, all to at one moment's notice, just kind of like make you forget everything. So there's some really fun stuff here. Also, there's a lot of gore and there's a lot of violence. There's lot of really fun panels of just like an overwhelming amount of, whether it's a face hugger or a chest burster, or whether it's a newly formed xenomorph that's completely different to anything we've seen before, or whether it's like this, just this big, I don't know, the hive of thousands of xenomorphs almost feels like that. It makes you feel very much like an inescapable situation. But of course, our characters, they can't lose hope. They have to survive. And that's really what we're dealing with towards the latter part of these 5 issues. This was so much fun to experience, so much fun to read. It was also a very quick read. I think the pacing of the book is very well done. I do recommend reading everything at once. I think this story, to me, feels better that way because I'm reading so many things that sometimes it's hard for me to go month to month to exactly remember all the details. And with reading everything at once, you really catch all the things that are being set up in the first few issues, and then you get the payoff, almost immediately in the latter half of the book. So this is a great series. Another one of the Aliens collections that they're going to be putting out. So the trade should be coming out pretty soon. There's also another annual, and then the team at the end of the book, we do see that the team will come back and tell another alien story in the future as well, completely separate from this. But there are so many corners of the universe in the Xenomorph universe that you can really tell stories in. That I'm very much looking forward to that. I think the team did a fantastic job. I was thoroughly entertained. So if you want way more detail and discussion on this, I'm going to put a link down below to Crew Expendable. It's a podcast with 2 of my buddies that they talk all things alien. They've been going through all the issues one by one, so they definitely dive a lot deeper into the story. They go full spoilers into it, and I know they're working on issue number 5 as well. So that should be out pretty soon from them, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Give them a follow, tell them I sent you. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this. If you have read it, let me know how this ranks amongst some of the more recent Alien titles. And stay tuned for an annual one-shot that's coming out in October, because the one-shots are always very fun. I think the annuals have been some of the highlights of the Alien stuff that's been coming out in the past few years. I've really enjoyed each and every one of them because they're so different. So, as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.